Phil here with Scope Scar Outdoors. If you guys have been following my last few videos, I've been doing the bark tanning with the gator hides, and this is what they end up looking like. I have one soaking right now. It's about halfway through the tanning process, and this video is about just giving you an update on how it's going and what it looks like. Stay tuned. All right, so this is 10 days in after I put the second batch of solution in. If I had more time and more bark to work with, I would fill this tub up higher with the solution and you go more days without it being depleted. Look how it's muddy because I stirred it up a little bit, but look how much tannins are gone out of this. That looks pretty useless to me. It's got like a fruity smell kind of a deal. Got this muddy gray sediment in here. If you recall from the other video, it looked like it was fermenting. I'm assuming that's something from the fermentation that's going on. Maybe like a yeast or something, if that is fermentation. I haven't really had that happening on hides before. This does look like it's taking the tannins. Looking back, I think I could still save this hide, but I would probably peel more of this stuff off, and I still might do that. I've just been really busy lately, so I haven't had time to really do what I want to do with these hides. I got a baby on the way, so you know how that goes if you have a baby, or if you're getting ready to have a baby. Anyways, I'm gonna switch this out. I'm gonna drip all that off there I can, hang it up, let it drip, get some of that old water out of there, the old solution that's spent. But I have this here I just made last night. It's a little darker color. I use a little bit different bark, still oak bark, but different part of the tree. I'm gonna try this out. It should still work. It's got tannins in it, I'm sure. Not as red as the last one I did, but still got something in it. Definitely has got some tannins in it. So swap this out, and then I can probably give it another day or two on that. Check it again. I will be making more solution here though, because I need it. I don't want to lose the hide after I get to this point, if I haven't already. Like I said, I think I can save it, and it shouldn't be a problem. Rinse this around, get some of that junk off there. See, it's got that grayness on it. I've had that happen before, but not every time. If you can swap out your solution faster, it's better. Get this new solution in here. I kind of sprayed that off the hose. It was a little muddy, and I wanted to kind of keep it so it wasn't so muddy, I think. Whatever that was in there, I just figured it would be better without it. I'm not going to claim that I know if it was for sure or not, but get some of this fresh solution in here. This would be batch 3 of the oak bark tea. Slosh that around a little bit. Get things moving. Get all that fresh tea right down into the hide. Slosh it around. Like I said, it kind of acts like a sponge, so the more you want to soak it, you don't need to mess with it all the time, but if you move it around, I try to move it around like once a day or every other day at least. It kind of keeps you up to date with what's going on with it, and it also, I feel like it moves the hide around enough where it maybe can absorb a little bit more of that tannins. Like I said before, if I had access to more bark right now and the time to process it, I would be filling this tub up a little bit more, making sure that there's plenty of tannins in there. You wouldn't have to switch it out near as often if there was more solution in there. But yeah, should be good for another few days, if not more. The last one I the batch number 2, I got 10 days out of it. I would have switched it out a little sooner, but I didn't have the supplies ready, and it was better to leave it in the old solution than it was to take it out and put water in it or whatever. So that's good enough rocks. So I'll keep you up to date. This is batch number 3. All right, this is batch number 3, 10 days in after I put the solution in. You see it is losing some tannins, but I believe that this hide is doing very well. Right here. Looking pretty good still. Even the back here feels like, it's hard to describe. It's like, it feels like more like has grain to it, if that makes any sense. A little like slightly rougher than it was earlier. Not as like, doesn't feel like that fresh skin did. It's feeling more like it's going to be leather when it's done. Kind of feeling like a little more stiffer, which is good, I would say, because if it was softer and more jello-y like, it means that the tannins aren't really doing their job and the hide is starting to rot. But I believe that the tannins are doing their job. So let me get this over here and I'll cut a piece off and show you a little sample of what it looks like inside of the hide. All right, so I pulled this piece off from right here. Cut a piece off of there. And this is what it's looking like on the inside of the hide. This is a thicker part of the skin too, so it's gonna take the longest to tan. Over here on the legs, those are probably, might be tan already all the way through because they're a lot thinner. But you can see here how that the tannins have penetrated that deep. And then in the middle there, it's a little bit whiter, like more of a tan, not as red color. That is not tanned yet. That's not preserved. So it's got a little ways to go, but it's not soaking up the tanning solution like it has been. So it's the tanning soaking is slowing down. I'll probably wait a few more days before I swap that out and put some fresh stuff in there. It doesn't seem to be low enough tannin level for it to matter. So I'm gonna leave it in there, give myself some time to get some more bark and boil it down and get this soaking the 4th time. Like I said before in other videos, that the hornbacks are harder to tan. They take longer because this is real thick skin here, all the way down here. It's thicker skin than the rest of it. So it's gonna take, and it's got bone in it, so it's gonna take a lot longer for that tannin to soak into the hide. But it's, all in all, it's looking pretty good. I'm thinking these little spots that are not quite as tan as the rest of it will go away once I put the neat's foot oil on it. But yeah, looking pretty good. I'm liking it. I've done one of these before, and right around here, this, I didn't soak it long enough with the lime solution, and I didn't get enough tannins on it to preserve it. And these did start to just, that skin started to pop on them, but it doesn't seem to be doing it on this one. So it still looked good when I was done, but there were still little spots where that little tiny piece of skin on the outside of that bone was showing through, so you could see through it. So no, it's looking good. That even that gray like muddy stuff is gone out of this batch too after I swapped out that. It worked through its process. It's got a little bit here, but not bad. It's not all over it like it was, so got that out of it. But yeah, it'll be a nice little piece of leather, preserved. This will be around forever if it's taken care of right after I'm done. So put it back into the solution. All right, so this is about 2.5 weeks in. Let's see how this tanning solution looks. It's got a little tannins in it still. It's red, obviously, with that rusty color, but I can tell by looking at it right here that the tannins are definitely getting depleted in this batch of bark tea that I made. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this hide out, get it over here on the fence where you can see it better, and show you what it's looking like. All right, so we got it back on the fence over here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little sample here. This is the real thin part of the hide, so I believe that this is probably tanned all the way through on this part, but I'm gonna take a little sample off here, and then a thicker part of the hide, maybe in here, or even back here, maybe even a little thicker. Do another cut sample there to show you how much it's tanned. But this is the end of batch 3. Looking at that solution a few minutes ago, I think that that it needs to be replaced in the next few days. So I need to get some more bark and make some more tea. Do have a little bit more of this gray showing up. Believe that to be like a fermentation process, which doesn't really hurt the hide. So not too bad. Looking pretty good. This all rubs off, that gray rubs off of there. And then I'll do that. Hopefully I only have to do one more batch of tea, and then that should finish it, I hope. Well, I'll know more after I take these samples, but it'll end up looking like this when I'm done. That's the inside. And here is the finished product, and that is straight oak bark tanned right there. It smells so good. That's what this should be when we're done. Right off of this portion right here. As you can see, it's really thin, but if you look right here, you can see it's virtually the same color all the way through. I took another sample right here, and that's from right up here, real thick area. As you can see right here, it's still got that more kind of a not so red color in the middle there, a lot lighter. That means it's not preserved all the way through. So yeah, if you're finding this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already.